just to watch. But came back, rebounded, got stops, got kills, and then we let Devin do what Devin do.
Right. Well, you got more offensive rebounds in the second half than Georgetown did, which was that was a good sign. You kept them off the boards, and that's when your offense works the best, I think, Coach. Because when you get rebounds and push it down the floor, you get good opportunities at the rim. You use your speed and quickness.
So it's all about getting stops. And at the end of the day, like we have something that we call kill when we get 3 stops in a row. And we weren't getting the kills that was in the first half that was necessary because we kept giving up offensive rebounds. We had held them below 40% from the floor. At one point, Epps was like 0 for 9 from three. So the key to the game. We told our team the way Georgetown has a chance to win is if they get offensive rebounds and they make threes. So we did a tremendous job of keeping them, at a low 3-point shooting percentage, but we were egregious in the first half on the offensive glass. So second half, we got stops, and then we were able to push the ball, and then Devin's able to do what Devin does.
It's probably the first game that we played this year where we've seen the zone the whole ball game. I mean, I think Georgetown didn't play. They might have played man-to-man maybe one or two possessions, but they played that matchup zone, taking away the 3-point shot and letting the middle be open. And you guys were trying to get it inside to Odoro every time because all you had to do was beat one guy.
Yeah. Well, and we told the team that Cooley was in the midst of like trying to figure out what was going to be the identity of his team defensively, and they would play some possessions where they would 3-quarter pick up. They would then fall back to a soft zone, and then they would even change into some man. So we had to control the tempo, and like you said, when we got our stops, then we were able to push it. We were able to get layups and then get whatever we wanted. I mean, Josh is a load, and anybody that in our league, everybody has to prepare for him. So expect to see some zones and double teams and things of that nature.
Well, you look at the club's been doing a good job of taking care of the ball in this last 5 or 6 games, but the turnovers kind of hurt you a little bit in that first half, and you end up with 16 for the game. You've been averaging about 9 or 10 turnovers, which is a great number.
Yeah, no, we started at the second half with 6 turnovers, which was awful, and we just have to not just take care of the basketball, but just not be hesitant and be decisive in our actions. And I think that was the biggest thing that we had to make a little bit of an adjustment there. It's just like, hey, no matter what they're showing you, be decisive in our actions and carve them up, and everything will be fine.
What I thought was the biggest part of the game, Coach, was when they hit the 3-pointer to go up 3. You got Odoro on a jump hook to get it to 1. That was a big possession at that time. And then Carter makes that 3 to put you up 2, and you stopped all the momentum they had. I mean, they get a stop there. It's a totally different day. Yep. And you guys were able to rise, and your veterans played well in the clutch again, and that's what you love to see as a coach.
No question about it. I mean, Josh Odoro and Devin Carter, carried us down the stretch. Like you said, that was huge possession. We had a nice, really nice play drawn up. Coach drew up, a zone lob play, and they deflected it, but Devin was wide open.
Yeah, he had to dunk.
It would have took the roof off, but like I said, Josh Odoro, 8 for 10 from the floor and 6 for 7 from the free throw line. Literally, that's perfect. You can't get much better than that.
You know what's amazing too? You probably didn't notice that, but going into the Seton Hall game, the Friars were 295th in the country in free throw percentage.
Yep.
Seton Hall game, you miss 1 free throw. This game, you go 15 for 16 in the second half, and you win both games. That's so huge. It comes down to free throws.
Don't jinx us. But no, we definitely, coach has been putting the emphasis on making sure that, on our days where we're not going as hard, that we're getting, necessary free throws in. And then you got guys that are stepping up there that are used to making them, and Devin Carter and Josh Odoro. So my hat just goes off to our players. I mean, they just played extremely hard, which shows some extreme resilience. Coach went after them at halftime emotionally to challenge them to really keep Georgetown off the backboard, and then we were able to hold them to really just 2 offensive rebounds in the second half because the one was a guard-way block. So the hat goes off to our team, our players, and they gave everything they had for this win.
Well, it was an awesome win. Now you got a big one coming up on Wednesday.
Now all you got to do is go play the number 1 team in the nation.
Yeah, and you know what? It's a great opportunity for us to hit the road. And again, hat goes off to Ed Cooley. They did a great job here today.
They did.
But yeah, we get a chance to go up to UConn. We get a chance to upset the number one team in the country, and that's something that the Big East has afforded us. So we could kind of have a chance to redeem some of those things that we lost early on.
Congratulations, Coach. Good win today.
Good win.
All right. Tim Fuller joining us
3 in
here
a row.
courtside. Yep. 3 in a row. That's all you need to worry about. 3 in a row. That's the way it goes. Friars win at 84-76. More of our Santander postgame show coming up from Learfield. This is Providence Friar basketball.
Now the internet works. Now that everybody's gone. Yeah, right.
Wow. They're out big early, huh? Yeah. Did they bring a box over? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you got that?
Yeah.
So cold in here, man.
Hello. Can you sign this?
That's cool. Very cool.
Cold.
Okay.
Queen go. Quinn. Yeah.
Yeah. Devin Carter just flat out took it over in the second half. Those were two of his 29 game high. It is not a career high. His career high was set against St. John's earlier this season when he had 31, but 29 today. They needed every one of them. They were spectacular. And it was part of an 84-76 win as we continue with our Santander postgame wrap-up here inside the AMP. John Rook with Joe Hassett. Let's take a look at the numbers, Joe. First of all, for the Hoyas, they dropped to now 8-12 overall, 1-8 in Big East play. They've lost 5 in a row and 8 of their last 9. Yeah, that doesn't sound very impressive, but I was impressed by the way Ed Cooley had his team prepared today, as Tim Fuller alluded to just a couple of moments ago.
Well, yeah, I mean, they did that three-quarter court trap, and, just a nuisance trap, and then you want to take time off the clock, then get back into a matchup zone on the three-point line to make you use some time and then maybe rush a shot. They're not a good defensive team man-to-man wise. They gave up 84 points, but the way they played defense, they hung in the game with that zone.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Can we finally turn the page on this whole Ed Cooley jilting Providence thing?
I don't know.
You think fans can?
I don't think so. And when he comes back in next year, it'll be the same thing. It's probably not as loud because as guys, the kids graduate and people move on. But I think it'll always be like this because you left and went into the same conference.
Well, I think that was the number one thing, and obviously it was right toward the end of the season last year when things went south, and it's not really worth going back into. Everybody understands the story, so maybe that will always be a little bit of angst for Friar fans overall. But he had his team prepared to play today, and he had 3 in double figures, led by Jaden Epps with 26 points. It's the 7th time this season he's been over 20 or more in a game, and the Friars actually played pretty good defense on him most of the way, but he had 3 big threes in the second half, one of them to give his team a 69-66 lead, and of course after that the Friars and Devin Carter just took over.
Yeah, I mean, Epps had to work. I mean, he took 27 shots. He made 9 of them. So
33% shooting.
Yeah, and 3 for 13 from 3. He was 0 for 9 at one point, but he went, he made 3 or 4.
In the second half.
4.
All of them in the second half.
Yeah, so, I mean, he had to work to get those shots, but, Carter did a good job defensively on there, making him work.
He had 16 points for Ish Masood. That matches his season high when he had a 16-point, 10-rebound double-double against TCU earlier this year. But Masood, I thought, was big as well because 4 of his 5 field goals were also from 3. He hit 4 of 8 from deep. And then 15 points for Supreme Cook inside with 4 rebounds before he fouled out of the game with 1:23 to go. And Supreme Cook doesn't even look like the same player he was when he was here about, 4 years ago for Fairfield?
Yeah, he's playing more physical. He has to. The league is more physical, and he's getting a lot of minutes inside, and he's playing to his strength. He has to body people up. He picks up the 5 fouls in this one, but he's a very serviceable big guy in there.
Dontrez Styles, the North Carolina transfer, was held to 4 points and 4 rebounds in 18 minutes in foul trouble most of the way. 5 points, 2 rebounds for Jay Heath, who began his career at Boston College and then ended up at Arizona State before he joined at Georgetown a year ago. 4 points for Wayne Bristol. You had 4 points for Rowan Brumbaugh, the Texas transfer. Drew Fielder, who was a one-time Friar recruit, scoreless in 5 minutes. He had 2 points. He had 2 in 5 minutes, and Ryan Mutombo scoreless in a minute. Georgetown shot 27 of 62. That's 43%. In the second half, though, the Hoyas shot 54%, 53.6 from the floor to keep them in it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they made some big shots to get back in it and take the lead in the ball game. And, not bad from three-point range either, John. They were 35% from 3, so that's pretty good.
9 for 26 for the game for 35%, 13 of 18 from the free throw line. They out-rebounded Providence for the game 31-29, including 13 on the offensive glass, but only 3 of those in the second half.
Well, the Friars started to get out on the break by rebounding. They caught up the rebound. They were getting crushed in the rebounding battle, but Friars had 24 defensive rebounds, which led to some fast breaks to beat that defense down the floor.
Right. 15 turnovers for the Hoyas, forced by the Providence defense, and for 17 points for the Friars. For the Providence, 3 in double figures. Game high total, 29 points for Devin Carter. Had 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals, and 2 blocks. That's getting it done.
Plus, he bothers everybody, too. When he's not blocking his shot, he's challenging his shots. So you guys try to change their shots to the basket, which affects their misses.
Yep, absolutely. 22 points for Josh Odura, who quietly had a pretty solid game himself with 6 rebounds and had 2 steals and a block in that one in his 27 minutes. But again, had to balance a lot of time with him on and off the floor in the second half with foul trouble. 14 points for Ticket Gaines with a team best 7 rebounds for the Ticket. 4 assists as well in his 36 minutes. Then you had 9 points for Jaden Pierre with 3 rebounds and 3 assists in his 29 minutes. 3 points, 5 rebounds for Corey Floyd. Garway Dual was scoreless with a rebound in 18 minutes. Rich Barron had a 3 in 12 minutes, and Rafael Castro had 4 points in 7 minutes. Friars shot 28 of 49 for the game. That's 57% shooting. That's their 3rd best shooting percentage of the season. 57% against Georgetown defense for the whole game, including 56% in the second half, 59% in the first half. I don't think you can argue with that overall, can you?
No, I mean, and they got a lot of those in the 2-point area, too. They were just 5 for 19 from 3, and I think they were taking too many threes that were contested. That defense by Cooley does not want to give up 3-point shots, as Ruben Gossett just walked by.
Right.
But, that he doesn't want to give up threes. That, we know Ed for the 12 years he was here. He just does not want to give up threes, so he leaves the middle open. So if you're going to have the middle open with a guy like Josh Oduro, just keep taking the twos all night, and you'll eventually get the possessions.
And I think that's kind of what they turned to. The Friars only hit 5 of 19 from 3. That's just 26%. But what really won the game for the second straight game is the free throw line. 23 of 27, the final total today. Including 15 of 16, as you mentioned, from the line in the second half. That's 85% total from the line. So last 2 games combined, Joe, they are 39 of 46 from the free throw. Is that right? 4 or 5? No, 39 of 44 from the line.
Yeah, that's great free throw shooting. That's why they won both. That's a big reason why they won both games. But, when you get to the line too, John, you got to go to the basket. They don't call many fouls when you're shooting a 3-point shot. There was one call in this game where the Friars had 3 free throws, but most of the fouls are going to the glass, and that's where the Friars got themselves on the line late, and that's how they ended up getting all those foul shots. So they finally decided to go against that zone and get it into Oduro. Little Pierre, he went through the lane twice for layups. There's nobody back there. They're all on the perimeter. So, when you play this team again, you got to say, hey, listen, we're going to keep going to the basket and just get twos all game.
Yeah, only 5 offensive rebounds, and I believe 4 of those came in the second half for the Friars. So that's certainly got to be a point of emphasis before they play UConn on Wednesday. 14 assists, 16 turnovers for the Friars, and really they've been able to keep it to about 10 turnovers per game, and those 16 turnovers turned into 24 Georgetown points, and that was a big reason why the Hoyas were able to stay in the game in the second half.
Well, the Friars had 6 turnovers at halftime. Then they had 6 turnovers in the first 7 minutes of the second half, and that's why the Hoyas were able to score and stay in the ball game. So the Friars have to do a little bit of job taking care of the ball, but that zone, they hadn't played against a lot of zone all year, and they saw the zone the whole second half. Right. Maybe 1 or 2 possessions with man-to-man. So, and it slows you down. I thought Cooley, when he was here, we would do that 3-quarter court, make you take 5 or 6 seconds off the shot clock, and then you come up and they don't have a lot of time to go against the zone, and the Friars were trying to be patient to get a 3, but they had alley-oops all day, but they didn't set those things up quick enough, and they almost had a couple of shot clock violations as well, but they will adjust to that in the future when they're playing against zones.
Friar defense, though, did play pretty well with 10 steals and 7 block shots. Friars have been first or second in the Big East in blocks all season long, and they got 7 more today overall. And the final score, 84-76, in front of a sellout crowd. Capacity 12,580 was the official attendance in here, and literally hanging from some of the rafters up in front. All the skyboxes, all the boxes on both sides of the floor were full today, and people hanging all over the place.
Yeah, it was a fun game to be at. You were waiting for the Friars to just bust out, and
they came so close to doing that on several occasions, just couldn't knock one down.
Yeah. Jaden Pierre was their best 3-point shooter, and he had 2 open looks, and you just felt like if those going in, you're up 14 at that point. Now you're going to blow the place open, but they weren't able to make those shots, and that's part of the game. Obviously, you're wide open, and then Georgetown would come down and make a shot. Georgetown always answered when the Friars looked like they were ready to extend the lead, but they always made a shot when they needed to make one.
Yep. And that's how the Friars moved to 14-6 overall, and now 5-4 in conference play. We got a final timeout to take. We'll have our player of the game coming from Audi Warwick in just a moment. We'll tell you what's straight ahead for the Friars. It'll be some task at hand as the Friars win it 84-76. Final timeout from Learfield. This is Providence Friar basketball. What's he saying?
If anything, I should ask Providence for a bonus check for the energy that was in here.
Yeah. Ed's opening statement.
He's praising himself. He wants more. He wants more money.
I mean, the man makes almost $6 million a year. How much more does he need?
Yeah. CC was going to pay him north of 5 to keep him here.
Yeah.
renegotiated more times than twice as many times as he had NCAA tournament. He had 3 wins. He renegotiated
You know,
6 times.
that's fine. But, I mean, I think at some point in time he does need to show a little grace. And he hasn't done that at all.
No, just leave it alone. Let's leave it alone.
You got scores up there? Marquette won big. And Villanova Butler's underway. Yeah, I'll look over this. Thank you. Thank you. Good job today, Tiffany.
Ed Cooley's still trying to get paid by Providence College.
Yeah, that was spectacular at the end. That was the pièce de résistance, right?
Looks like a dunk contest on that one.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
You used,
Devin
you used to be able to dunk like that, right?
yeah, once upon
With
a
a
time.
trampoline.
Yeah, with the trampoline is exactly right. Devin Carter, by far and away, he's our Audi Warwick outstanding performance of the game with his 29 points to lead the way, including just basically single-handedly taking it over in the final 2 minutes of this game as Providence beats Georgetown 84-76 here at the end.
Yeah, it was quite a performance. We just saw a printout of Ed Cooley at the press conference. He said Providence College should give him a bonus check for all the people in noise he was able to bring in here.
He said Providence should give me a bonus check for the energy that was in the building today. And
Ed's still trying to get paid. He's still trying to renegotiate a contract, and he's not even here anymore. What's up with that? Come on, Ed, you're not making enough now. You're making $500,000 a month, and you want a bonus check from Providence for energy in here? I think the energy has been in here for a long time.
Well, the energy certainly has been in here for a long time. It did predate Ed Cooley, but we'll give it credit where credit's due. A lot of it was reinvigorated when he did arrive and the Friars started winning, and I think that's the one thing that I've always loved about Friar fans. They get it, they support their team, but when this is a winning team, there's just few crowds that are better in college basketball.
Oh, it's great. I mean, and Ed did do a great job when he got in.
He
here.
did.
I mean, we had Keno Davis, who, by the way, was coach of the year in NCAA.
Yeah. He was the national coach of the year before he got here. That's right.
And he comes here and he just couldn't get it done. And Ed came in and was rock bottom. It had no practice facilities, nothing.
They gave up 109 points in regulation to Seton Hall in his last game. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, at the Big East tournament.
So, and they he got it going. There's no question about it. You got the enthusiasm back, and it's great when and fans here will be out and they support. But he got it going. But decided he had to go to a different place, and that's fine. You and I, if we want to change jobs, we can change jobs. But I don't think we asked for a bonus for the people that we just left for.
Does that mean I can get a bonus check from the former radio stations?
Yeah, why not? Right. You bring energy, right?
I try to. I mean, we always try to bring energy, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's take a quick look at what's else in the Big East today, because it obviously is going to have some impact as we progress along here. We're at the halfway point of the Big East Conference season. The Friars have played 9 games, so game 10 will be the official halfway point this next week. But after today, or at least today, Seton Hall played at Marquette, and while the Pirates, who gave the Friars everything they wanted in a home game for them last Wednesday, the Pirates, again without Kadari Richmond today, I've been told, I had to go on the road and play at Marquette, and the Golden Eagles were all over the Pirates after the game was closed early. It was 75-57 the final, and Oso Ighodaro had 21 points to lead Marquette in that one, and then 20 also as well from David Joplin. What did Tyler Kolek? He was held to 4 points on just 6 shots, but he did have 11 assists in that game.
Yeah, he probably was distributing the ball, didn't look for a shot. And he took 6 shots. You look at Epps, took 29 shots in the game. So, sometimes you have to do what's best for the team to win the game. And, the Friars winning today, they go to 5-4. Now they're tied with St. John's at 5-4 in the league.
Correct. So you're tied now for 5th with St. John's at 5-4. Also, Villanova playing at Butler. That game's still underway, and they're 3 minutes to go in the first half, and Villanova is leading at Hinkle, 29-21 over the Bulldogs.
Well, Villanova's due to win a game. I mean, they've been struggling. They haven't looked very good, and there's plenty of time to go in that game. Butler is a solid team, but Villanova, if you play a man-to-man, they're gonna control the tempo, which they're doing right now.
And then one other game later tonight, DePaul plays at Creighton. It starts at 7. There is one game tomorrow. Xavier will play at number 1 ranked UConn in a 12 noon start. And that's where the Friars will be on Wednesday night at Gamble Pavilion in Stores, playing the number 1 team in the country, the Connecticut Huskies.
Yeah, that'll be a tough matchup. Connecticut has great size. The big guy Klingham's back, and he just takes big space in the lane. They have backups behind him as tall as he is. So
Samson Johnson, yeah.
It's going to be a tough challenge down there at Connecticut. But this Friar team, if they can spread the floor and speed the game up and they have to knock down a bunch of threes in that game.
I was just going to say, clearly the Friars, the last couple of games, we've seen them struggle with the backboard, especially the offensive rebound. So that's going to be, at the top of the must-do list in order to be able to hang with the number 1 team, and then to have a chance to beat the number 1 team. Yeah, you got to hit free throws like they've done the last 2 games. You're going to have to hit something from the outside to open up that UConn defense.
Yeah, you can't shoot 5 for 19 from 3 against UConn. You're going to have to.
That won't win your game.
Yeah, you got to do like 10, 11 for 12, 10 3-points to get in that game to stay in that game. So It's doable, but they're going to have to shoot very well.
Be a heck of an opportunity. And that game, though, is a little bit later game. It's an 8:30 tip-off from Stores on Wednesday night because of the television. So Joe and I will be right here on News Talk 99.7 at AM 630 WPRO with the pregame beginning at 10 minutes past 8 o'clock on Wednesday night. We get to go to Stores, big fella. So, hey, let's play the number 1 team and let her rip.
That's beautiful Stores right now.
Said with tongue firmly in cheek.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Our thanks to Tiffany Van Nerden, our studio producer, and we just got cut off the air.
Knocked off the air. John was just thanking people.
We just lost all power.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Came at the right time. You can get to thank everybody.
Oh, well.
Oh, it's because he plugged in. He blew us up. This is not you. That is our headphones.
Reading?
Oh, sorry.
Hang on. Are we back now? We're back. Okay. Do you have us on or are we off? Okay. Sorry about that. We just got unplugged here at the amp. Our thanks to Tiffany Van Nerden. Our thanks to Matt Morrell, who just fixed us to get us back on the air for 10 seconds. Our thanks to Austin Rook as well for the halftime and stats. And for Joe Hassett, I'm John Rook. Again, it's 84-76. The final score. Providence beats Georgetown to move to 14-6. And now tied with St. John's for 5th in the Big East at 5-4 in conference play. It's the Friars and the number 1 ranked UConn Huskies on Wednesday night, 8:10 with the pregame here on WPRO. Until then, so long, everybody. Thanks, Tiffany. Yeah, we just got unplugged here.
Proud sponsors of Providence College Athletics. Coca-Cola. Together, tastes better. Rhode Island Public Transit Authority. Local to your ride. Santander Bank. The official bank of Providence College. And by White Cross Pharmacy, home of the MedPack. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation.
So a 2-channel board I should look for on Amazon?
Yeah, I'll send you a link to that, and then you'll just need a 1/4 inch to an XLR wire or 2.
We've got everything on top of it.